is happening, everybody? Welcome to Getting Ready for 5th Grade Math Like a Boss. I'm Miss McCarthy. I am your host, I am your teacher, and I welcome you to our 8-week series. That's right, this is an 8-week course. Okay, I've got the top 8 5th grade skills. It's not every skill you learn in 5th grade, but it's the top 8 to help you prepare for 5th grade math. So everything we're doing up here is 5th grade math. It's going to be awesome. Today's lesson is multi-digit division. It's week 2. It's day 6 if you're following along in your workbook. If you don't know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about a workbook, click the link in the description box below. That will take you to where you can instantly download the same workbook that I will be using, all right? Gives you a lot more information, answer key, all that good stuff. So, without further ado, let me teach you. Boss notes! All right, everybody, here are the steps that we are going to use for multi-digit division. Step 1, we divide. We multiply. We subtract. And we bring, we bring down. Perfect. All right, and then we repeat until all the numbers in the fancy word dividend have been used. One other step that we do is that we are going to be checking our work using multiplication, which is the inverse operation to division. So let's get to it. Let's learn it. Number 1, come on, let's go. All right, here we are at the Learn It section. We're going to find the quotient to 342 divided by 14. So, first things first, I need to write this appropriately. Okay, we don't divide horizontally like this. We actually set it up a different way. So, we're going to take our divisor. This is our divisor. It's the one that's doing the dividing. 14, and put him out there. Make a little weird half of a rectangle box and put our dividend, which we talked about in the boss notes, right in here, 342. Okay, we're going to divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. Divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. Divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. Okay, first we divide. How many times does 14 go into 34? Well, I know it could go into at least one time, and I'm going to try to see if it goes into it twice. So to do that, I'm going to take my 14 and multiply it by 2. I get 14 times 2 is 8. That would be 2, so 28, which is pretty close to 34. Let's see if I can go one more. 14 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1, 42. That's too high. So it goes into it at least twice. Okay, it didn't go into 3. I'm sorry, I kind of skipped that step. 14 does not go into 3, but it can go into 34. So I put an X up there because it cannot go into 3. Now I multiply 2 times 48. I've already done it right there. It is 28. I write it just underneath 34. And now I am subtracting 34 minus 28. So 4 minus 8, I cannot do that, so I need to regroup. That becomes a 14. 14 minus 8 is 6. 2 minus 2 is nothing, so I subtracted. I'm going to bring down the next digit in my dividend, which is a 2. How many times now does 14 go into 62? Well, I know it's higher than 3, because 14 times 3 is 42. Let me see 14 times 6. 6 times 4 is 24. That would be 84. That's a little too high. Let's try 14 times 5. 4 times 5 would be 20. That would be 70. Again, it's too high. Right? Yes. Oh, I forgot 14 times 4. What am I thinking? Too high to begin with. 14 times 4 is 6. 1. That'd be 56, which would, I could take 56 away from 62. So We're going to put the 4 right there because 14 times 4 is 56. Now 4 times 14 is 56. That was my division step. Figure out about how many times it goes into 62. And my multiplication step, because 4 times 14 is 56. Now I'm subtracting. 2 minus 6, I cannot do that. I need to regroup. 12 minus 6 is 6. So I've got 24 with a remainder of 6. All right. Now I need to check my work. So what I'm going to do is come over here and check my work. I do that by taking 24 times 14. 24 times 14. Then I'm going to add my 6. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 8 is 8. Plus 1 is 9. 0 to hold in place. Cross out my 4. Get rid of my regroupie. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 2 is 2. Add them together. We've got 13. 336 plus 6 would give us 342. So I know that 24 remainder 6 is my answer because when I use it, when I check my work, I got 342, which was my original dividend. That was a lot of work for one problem. Let's move on to number 2. Okay, we're on number 2. Now, as I'm doing these problems, I want you to know that we are getting ready for 5th grade. So I'm assuming that you've done long division in 4th grade. If you have never done long division before, you might want to go back and watch my 4th grade getting ready for 4th grade video on long division because that will help you and build you up for this lesson. So make sure you do that. If you're like, what is she doing? It's crazy. All right, so 7,631 divided by 42. This is called my dividend. This is called my divisor. The one doing the dividing. And I need to find my answer, which would be the quotient. So I take my divisor, put them on the outside. Draw my little half rectangle box. 7,631 goes inside because that's where the dividend goes. And now I say, how many times does 42 go into 7? It doesn't. That's too small. How many times does 47 go into 76? That I can do. I think that twice would be too much because 40, if I round this up to around this to 40, 40 times 2 would be 80. So I know that's going to be too high. So it's only going to go in one time. That was my division step. Now I'm multiplying. 1 times 42 is 42. I subtract those two babies. 6 minus 2 is 4. 7 minus 4 is 3. And right here, my difference is 34, which is smaller than my divisor. As long as this guy is smaller, it means that you divided correctly. Okay? After I subtract, I bring down my next digit, which would be the 3. Bring that 3 down. Now I have 343. So, about how many times does 40 go into like 300? I know, or 4 go into like 30. So I want to say like 7 because I know that 40 times 7 would be 280, which is pretty close. And 40 times 8 would be 320, which is close. So let me try 420 times 8. Sorry, 42 times 8. 2 times 8 is 16. 8 times 4 is 32 plus 1, which is 336. That's as close as we are going to get there. So put my 8 right there above the 3. 8 times 42 is 336, and I subtract. 3 minus 6, we cannot do it. We need to regroup. That becomes a 3. That becomes a 13. 13 minus 6 is 7. 3 minus 3 is 0. 3 minus 3 is 0, so 7. Next step is to bring down a 1. How many times does 42 go into 71? 1 time. This 2 times would be in the 80s. 1 times 42 is 42. Subtract. What can I do? We need to regroup. 11. 11 minus 2 is 9. Can you see? Yes. 6 minus 4 is 29. And my remainder, 29, is less than my divisor, so we are happy about that. We put remainder 29 up there, and now I need to check my work. I do that by saying 181 times 42. I'm going to do this pretty quickly just to check my work, because we already did this in the last episode. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 8 is 16. 16. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. 0. Get rid of my 2. Get rid of my regrouping. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7. Whew! Add them. 2, 10. 1 plus 3 plus 2 is 6. Bring down my 7, and I add my 29, because that was my remainder. 1, 3. Oh my goodness, we were right. So 181 remainder 29 is the correct answer. If you want to, you can go ahead and practice this one on your own. Pause this video and then come on back, or you can try to help me solve it right now. So whatever one you choose, either pause or just stick with me if you still need some more help. Okay? All right, so we've got 287 divided by 19. 287 is known as the dividend. And the 19 is our divisor. Good. Divisor. Okay, we stick our divisor over here. Draw a little upside down half rectangle, and we put our dividend inside. Okay. Now, my first step is to divide. So how many times does 19 go into 2? It can't. That's too small, so we put an X right there. How many times does it go into 28? Well, 1 time at least, and 19 is almost like 20, and 20 times 2 would be 40, which is too high for 28. So let's do 1 time. Excuse me, let me tell you 1 time. 1 times 19 is 19. Now what do? Subtract. Very good. All right. 8 minus 9. You can't do that, so you need to regroup. This 2 becomes a 1. Now we have 18. 18 minus 9 is 9. And what's my next step? Sorry, this was 1 minus 1 is 0. What's my next step? After we subtract, we bring down. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. Now, about how many times does 19 go into 97? Well, 19 is, we said, is almost like 20. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, maybe. Maybe. Why don't we go ahead and try 19 times 5 and see what we get. 9 times 5 is 45. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 4 is 9. Ooh, is 95. So it does go in at least 5 times. So 5 times 19 is 95. Now we subtract, and we get a remainder of 2. But we're not finished yet, because we need to check our work, man. Always got to check your work. Okay, so I'm just going to erase the work that I've already done over here. What do I need to multiply? 15 times 19. Good. Check my work. Oh, this would be a remainder too. 15 times 19. Okay, 9 times 5 is 45. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 4 is 13. 0 to hold the place. Get rid of my 9 and get rid of my regroupies. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 1 is 1. Add up the 2. 3 plus 5 is 8. All right. Oh, I was like, hang on a second. So 285, and we add our remainder of 2 to get 287. So 15, remainder 2 is our answer. We have one more to go. Number 4. Okay, we are on the last one. This is number 4. It's 2,271 divided by 63. 2,271 is our dividend. 63 is our divisor. We're going to take our divisor, put it on the outside, and put our dividend in the inside. Okay, our first step is to divide. So how many times does 63 go into 2? It can't. That's too small. About how many times can it go into 22? It can't. 22 is too small. It's smaller than 63. So about how many times can it go into 227? Well, 60 times 3 is 180, and 60 times 4 is 240. So I'm going to see 63 times 3, get 9, 189. 63 times 4, get 12, 250. So that would be too great of a number. So we're going to go ahead and do 3. 3 times 63 is 189. We subtract. 7 minus 9, we can't do that, so we borrow or regroup. That's 17. 17 minus 9 is 8. 1 minus 8, we can't do that, so we regroup. Becomes 11. 11 minus 3 is 38, and we bring down our 1. Okay. Now I know that 63 times 4 is 252, so I know I've got to go greater, multiply by a number greater to get to 381, to get close to that. So 60 times, I'm going to say 6, because I know 60 times 6 is 360. So this has got to be pretty stinking close. 3 times 6 is 18. 6 times 6 is 36. Plus 1 is 37. That is really close. So, times 6. 6 times 63 is 378. We subtract, and we're going to get, can't do that, so we regroup. 11 minus 3, 8 is 3. So 36, remainder 3. But of course, I've got to check my work. Whew, I'm running out of breath. All this talking. Okay. So 36 times 63. 6 times 3 is 18. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. Okay, hold 0 to hold the place, cross out my 3, get rid of my regroupies. 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 3 is 21. All right, add them up. Yep, and then we add 3 to get 1. That'd be 11, 7, 2, 2. So that works. 36, remainder 3. Today's B message is to be wise like a boss. People who are wise are able to make smart choices. That means practicing by doing what is right and what is fair. A wise person never stops learning. And if you're ever faced with something that you don't really know how to handle on your own, reach out to someone that you trust, like maybe your parent or a teacher or a friend who you know will provide you with honest and wise and smart, fair feedback, and seek their guidance. All right, everybody, be wise like a boss.
Get ready, be ready, like a boss, boss mode. Ooh, that math, I'm getting stronger, like a boss.